In this gripping narrative, we delve into the harrowing events preceding the tragic demise of Michelle Leng in 2016. Michelle, a compassionate and driven individual also known as Mei Ling, hailed from Chengdu, Sichuan Province, China. Her bond with her parents was profound, yet the devastating loss of her father during the 2008 earthquake upheaved her world. Determined to carve out a promising path ahead, Michelle resolved to pursue her studies in Australia. With unwavering encouragement from her mother, she achieved her aspirations. Upon relocating to Sydney in 2011, Michelle embarked on her academic journey at the University of Technology, immersing herself in her studies as she began anew in Australia. Her aunt and uncle, Derek Barrett, generously provided her with accommodation in the countryside, where she resided alongside her younger cousin. Michelle thrived academically, forged friendships, and secured a part-time job, seemingly poised for a bright future. However, fate would soon take a tragic turn. Over time, Michelle's aunt found herself increasingly occupied with work, resulting in more frequent absences from their suburban Campsie residence. This shift left Michelle, along with her cousin and her uncle Derek, to largely fend for themselves. During this period, both her aunt and Derek began to observe a shift in Michelle's demeanor. She started gravitating more towards her friends, often frequenting nightclubs. While her loved ones didn't view this change as alarming initially, it marked a notable departure from her previous behavior. On the pivotal day in April 2016, surveillance cameras documented Michelle casually shopping in Sydney's central business district, displaying an air of composure and ease. Subsequent footage depicted her boarding a train at St. James Railway Station, making her way to Campsie Railway Station, the site of her last confirmed presence. Throughout the day, Michelle remained in communication with her friends and family via her cell phone, exhibiting no signs of distress or apprehension. The grim reality of Michelle's fate began to surface on April 24th, when her aunt returned from her business trip to find Michelle missing for 2 days. Upon questioning Derek, who was temporarily unemployed, they learned he hadn't seen Michelle either, attributing her absence to recent social outings. Alarmed, they promptly reported her disappearance to the authorities and reached out to the Chinese embassy. Tragically, before an official missing persons report could be filed, Michelle's lifeless body had already been discovered. Witnesses had spotted a body in the water near Snapper Point, later confirmed to be Michelle through investigations. The devastating news shattered her family, prompting the police to launch an investigation in search of answers. Following initial interviews with family members, Detective Chief Inspector Gary Jubilin and his team began to focus their suspicions on Derek Barrett. Discrepancies in his statements and behavior aroused doubts, with mounting evidence pointing towards him as a person of interest. Analysis of cell phone records revealed his presence in the vicinity where Michelle's body was found, contradicting his earlier assertions of not being in the area. Additionally, surveillance footage placed his vehicle near Snapper Point, strengthening the link to the crime scene. As investigators delved deeper into Derek's life, they stumbled upon a horrifying revelation. The analysis of his seized cell phone exposed a dark and twisted obsession. Derek had secretly recorded his stepdaughter and Michelle in intimate moments, violating their privacy and betraying their trust. The evidence against Derek Barrett was overwhelming, and he was subsequently arrested and charged with a litany of offenses. During his trial, he initially refused to answer questions and demanded legal representation. The courtroom was left in shock as the details of his heinous acts came to light. The footage on his phone revealed Michelle bound and helpless, captured just hours before her death. The autopsy report painted a grim picture of the violence inflicted on Michelle. She had over 30 stab wounds and defensive wounds on her arms, indicating a desperate struggle for survival. It was clear that Michelle had fought valiantly against her attacker, but her strength was no match for Derek's brutality. In December 2017, Derek Barrett pleaded guilty to the charges against him. The judge sentenced him to 46 years in prison, acknowledging the gravity of his crimes. Michelle's family, however, expressed their disappointment, believing that a life sentence would have been more fitting for the man who had caused immeasurable pain and irreparable loss. Unfortunately, the suffering for Michelle's family didn't end with the initial conviction. 4 years later, a USB drive containing additional videos of Derek's acts was discovered in the possession of an elderly woman with dementia. The videos further exposed the depths of his perversion, and Derek was charged with additional offenses. His sentence was extended by 20 years, but both sentences will be served concurrently, allowing him the possibility of parole in 2052. And Ms. Zhang urged Justice Helen Wilson to imprison Barrett for the rest of his life. She told of the moment she was informed by NSW police that her daughter had been degradingly raped, agonizingly tortured, and how a wave of faint immediately washed over. As a mother, I hope you, most respectful judge, will sentence this vicious rapist, malicious torturer, and cold-hearted murderer to life imprisonment, Ms. Zhang said. The violence perpetuated against women is a major issue, and we have more so recently seen this happen as high in the Australian government. But add on an Asian woman and one who is an international student, and the probability gets higher due to the negative stereotypes placed upon Asian women, and the fact that many international students have limited local support networks and connections. With COVID-19 racism increasing in Oz and the global pandemic of hate, we will only see more attacks of both predatory and violent nature. The enduring impact of Michelle's tragic death is immeasurable. Her family's lives were forever altered, haunted by the cruel and senseless acts committed by one man. As they continue to grapple with their grief, they are left to navigate a world forever scarred by the loss of their beloved daughter and niece. And if you found this video insightful, don't hesitate to give it a like and share it with others who might find it interesting. Every like, share, and subscription goes a long way in supporting our channel. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.